Hey guys, what's up? Just a couple quick tips on recording. What I do for recording ain't really tips. I have quite a few mics, but not a million. But I have like the mics that I use the most, and for really big, large vocalists who have really powerful voices, I really like using the Rode Classic 2. That's this one here. Um, I have this here on the back just because I have a window, and although this room is treated, as you can hear, every now and then I get a little bit of sound that creeps in, and that helps out a great deal. But I do want to stress that if you have a nicely treated room and you don't have a lot of noise coming into the room, you don't really need that. Like if your room sounds nice and calm, like you don't hear a lot of reflections in this room, it's been treated a little bit, so you don't really need that. I know a lot of people, when you watch YouTube, you see everybody has one, but it's like, if your room's treated, just like use the room, it'll sound great. So that's one tip, but I have to use it. And I usually have that, actually not usually, I always have it going into my Avalon. So even if I'm not really compressing that much, I like the way that mic pairs up with that preamp, and I think it's a lot to be said about what I've sort of experienced with whether or not you should get this mic or this preamp or which one's more important. It's kind of like if you can get both, you get both, and you make sure that they pair up really well. And the only way to really make sure they pair up really well is to try them out. Because it depends on the voice, and if you're recording your own vocals, you got to find something that's right for you. And if you're recording other people as well as your own vocals, you need something that's versatile. So for me, I found that the Avalon was pretty versatile for that kind of stuff. The next mic I use a lot for vocals is this one. I'll have to turn that around. The C414. I really, really like this mic for when I have sessions for, let's say I'm doing a hook or I'm doing a verse on a rap song, it's somebody else's rap song. I don't really want to really have something really too big in the way for them to have to worry about. So I most likely don't use the Rode Classic unless it's a really heartfelt song and I'm belting a lot. If it's not a lot of belting, not that this mic can't handle it, I'll use this mic. AKG C414. Great mic. And that I actually do not pair up with the Avalon. I pair that up with Empirical Labs. They have a EQ. It's called the Doctor. It's a really strange name. But that Doctor is actually, it's not only is it an EQ, it's a compressor, and it's a mic pre. And it looks like this. As you can see, I also have a pair of those SSL mic pre's. They're not the greatest mic pre's, but I'll tell you one thing, they're not the worst. Occasionally, I'll run that same mic into the SSL first and then run it into the Doctor afterwards. And I love the sound that I get out of it. And like I said, it depends, the settings depend on what you're trying to get. Like sometimes I want something really clean. Sometimes I want something a little bit more crunchy. And usually I'm recording vocals right now into the Audient. So I go from the Rode Classic into the Avalon, from the Avalon into the Audient straight in. I could go in through the Patch Bay or through the ADAT Audient preamps that I have as well. But I kind of like just going straight in clean because I'm probably going to use some stuff some plugins or something like that later. So it doesn't really matter that much. And if I want to add something else, I can run it through, run it back out and back in when I'm using my pedals and stuff for effects. I also like this This is probably my favorite for recording vocals. The only drawback for that one is that it doesn't have inserts. So the Audient having inserts, it makes it really, really easy for me to patch things in from my patch bay, um, and make a chain if I want to, and run it through with the inserts. It's like super easy that way. With this one, I mean, I guess you could. You've got two in, two out, but yeah, it's just not the same. It's just not as easy. But yeah, if I had my choice, I would have the Symphony with the Symphony desktop. But I'll tell you what, the Audient is great. I love it. I love the sound of it. What you put into it is exactly what you get out of it. It does have a little bit of texture, seems like it adds to it, but I don't mind it at all. So my vocal chain varies. I also use occasionally for vocals, haven't in a while, but the Audient preamps, those are really good as well, but I primarily use those now for my instruments, and like bass guitar, synthesizers, drum machines, stuff like that. And I just run those in via ADAT. But primary vocal chain, that's my main go-to mic, into the Avalon, from the Avalon into the Audient. And then when I'm using the AKG C414, it's actually going directly into the Audient, and then I'm running the preamp as an insert next to it, just to like, cause you can add compression, you can add distortion, you can add weird stuff to it. It's really cool. Like if you can't afford a distressor, I know it's not a distressor, it's an EQ, but it's a thing all onto its own, and I really, really have had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to using it some more on some new records. And if you want to hear any results, you can check out my new EP. It's just search whatever music media you use, Bruce Hathcock, and you'll find the newest recordings, 5-song EP, and yes, you get to hear some of it. But if you have any questions, you know what, I'm always open to answer those questions. I had another guy that was talking about, oh, your room's not treated. See all these guys with fancy equipment and this room's not treated. I'm using my phone, bro. You can hear that this room's treated. So yeah, shout out to you for commenting anyway, though. But you should probably spend more time working on your own stuff than false claims, brother. Another thing too is like, you ain't got to stress so much on treatment of your room. Like, try to get your room to have minimal reflections, yeah. But honestly, I have been recording artists for so many years, and I have recorded in so many situations that have had so many releases with so many top names. And I've been in the best studios, and I've been recording in closets. So, and I've heard amazing stuff come out of both of them. You do the best you can. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to treat your room. Just try to minimize some of the reflections. You ain't gonna get soundproofing. You don't need soundproofing. You just need sound that's coming from outside, not getting on your mic, and you need something that's also going to prevent having an over excess of reflections. And what do I mean by over excess of reflections? So let's go outside of my studio into the hallway. So when you hear me talking in here, you can hear that there's some reflections, right? So this is my hallway. Sometimes I do record in the hallway because I want this reverb. I actually like the reverb in here. But most of the time I'm in here so I can keep it controlled. But yeah, don't stress over that, folks. If you're at home and you're trying to get started, you don't got to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars like I did and have people come over and test the room and do all of that stuff. You ain't got to do all that. Especially if you're just recording your vocals. You just need the vocals to come clean with no noise on them, good quality, good resolution, and that's it. Man, I have heard songs that I've done where I recorded using this mic right here, and I didn't use and I actually ran it through a compressor, an old digital TC Electronics digital compressor. And I have heard mix engineers do amazing things with that mic. And if you want to check out how that sounds, I have a song called Barbershop Stories. Look up Barbershop Stories. Every song on that record, all the raps, all the vocals, they were all recorded using that mic. So you don't need a lot. You just need to think a little bit about keeping the reflections down. That's it. Thanks for watching.